Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're taking you on a truly remarkable journey through an ancient text.
That's right. We're looking at chapter 13 of the Sri Caitanya Caritamrita. It's called The Ecstatic Dancing of Lord Chaitanya at Ratha-yātrā.
And it really is something else.
It absolutely is. Our mission really in this deep dive is to unpack this amazing account. It's more than just history or religion.
Right.
It's packed with these surprising insights, about devotion, mystic power, the whole relationship between the divine and, well, us. You might find some moments that really change how you think about devotion.
I'm already intrigued. So we're exploring the Ratha-yātrā festival, this incredible ecstatic dancing, and digging into the meaning behind it all. Let's start at the beginning. What exactly is Ratha-yātrā, and how does this chapter just drop us right in? So let's set the scene. It's the morning of the festival. What are Lord Chaitanya and his followers actually doing to get ready?
Okay, so it starts really early. We're talking pre-dawn dark. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his close associates, they get up, take their baths, and then they head straight to see something called the Panchuvija ceremony.
Puja, what's that?
That's the moment Lord Jagannatha, the deity, is moved off his throne inside the temple and onto the huge chariot, the Rath, ready for the big procession.
Got it.
And what's really interesting right from the start is that King Prataparudra, the local ruler, he and his whole crew personally make sure Chaitanya's people get a really good view.
Wow. So that immediately shows the kind of respect Chaitanya commanded.
Exactly. It sets the tone straight away.
Okay, so the deity is being moved,
Mhm.
and the text introduces these specific servants, the deitas. Who are they? Why are they so important here?
The deitas. This is fascinating. They're described as very strongly built, like powerful as drunken elephants. They're the ones who physically carry Lord Jagannatha.
Okay, strong guys.
But here's the really surprising part, the insight. The word deita literally means one who has received the mercy of the Lord. Yes. And they don't necessarily come from high caste families, brahmanas or kshatriyas. Some actually come from what's called the Shabar caste, who traditionally kept pigs.
Seriously, that's unexpected.
Totally. But they're elevated purely because of their dedicated service. It's a powerful point. Devotion and service trump birth status. Their job isn't just carrying. They also look after Jagannatha during Anavasara.
Anavasara.
That's a 15-day period when the Lord is sort of resting, said to have a fever. The deitas care for him then, too, offering fruit juice, things like that. It's very intimate service.
That sounds like a monumental task, moving such a huge deity. How do they actually do it? And what does the text say about what's really happening?
Physically, it's immense. Some deitas hold his shoulders, others his feet. They use thick silk ropes around his waist. And these special puffed-up cotton pads called tulis.
Cotton pads.
Yeah, spread out like stepping stones from the throne to the chariot. They move the heavy deity from one tuli to the next. And get this, sometimes the pads break under the weight. Cotton flies everywhere, makes this heavy cracking sound. But then the text pulls back, asks this profound question. Lord Jagannatha maintains the whole universe. Who can carry him?
Right. Good point.
And the answer given is, the Lord moves by his personal will just to perform his pastimes. So all that physical effort, it's happening, but ultimately it's the Lord's divine will, his play, that's making the move possible, not just manpower.
That adds a whole other layer.
Yeah.
So while this is going on, what's Caitanya Mahaprabhu doing? And the king. You mentioned him earlier.
Chaitanya is chanting Manchima. It's a respectful address in Orissa, but honestly, the music, the instruments are so loud, his voice gets kind of lost in the sound.
Okay.
But then there's King Prataparudra again. Now remember, he's the top guy, the most respected person there, and what does he do? He takes a broom. Okay, it has a golden handle, but still...
A broom?
Yeah. He personally sweeps the road in front of the chariot and then sprinkles it with sandalwood-scented water.
The king himself is sweeping.
Exactly. This menial service, as the text calls it, is what makes him a suitable candidate for receiving the Lord's mercy. Chaitanya sees this and is described as very happy.
So humility and service are key to understanding, to receiving grace.
Precisely. It lines up with other teachings. You can't really understand God without his mercy, and that mercy often comes through this kind of humble service.
Makes sense. Okay, what about the Rath, the chariot itself? Describe that for us.
Oh, it's spectacular. It looks newly made of gold, and it's described as being as high as Mount Sumeru.
Mount Sumeru, so unbelievably huge.
Huge. And covered in decorations, bright mirrors, Hundreds of these white whisks called kamaras.
Yak tails, right?
Yes, those. A clean canopy overhead, a beautiful flag, silk cloths, pictures, brass bells, gongs, even ankle bells jingling. It's an overload for the senses. The text even mentions a comparison from a 1973 London Ratha-yātrā, where a newspaper likened the car to Nelson's column in Trafalgar Square, just to give you that sense of scale.
Wow. Okay, so Lord Jagannatha, his sister Subhadra, his brother Balarama, they're all on their chariots now. But the text mentions Jagannatha was secluded with the goddess of fortune for 15 days before this. What's the deeper meaning there?
Right, that's the Anavasara period we touched on. He's said to be with Lakshmi, the goddess of fortune. He essentially takes permission from her to come out for this festival, specifically for the pleasure of the devotees.
For the devotees.
Yes, and this brings up like a really important concept. Svakya versus Parakya rasa.
Okay, break that down.
Svakya rasa is like the proper married conjugal love. Think of Krishna with his queens in his opulent kingdom, the Dvaraka. Regal, orderly.
Right.
Parakya rasa is different. It's the intense, spontaneous, maybe even scandalous love of girlfriends specifically, Krishna's love with the gopis in the simple village of Vrindavana. And the text states that the Lord finds more pleasure in this Parakya rasa. It's considered superior, like comparing pure gold, Parakya in the spiritual world, to basic iron, Svakya, or the degraded reflection of Parakya in the material world.
So Jagannatha coming out for Ratha-yātrā is like Krishna leaving his royal palace to re-experience that Vrindavana love.
Exactly. He's leaving the mood of Dvaraka to enter the mood of Vrindavana, drawn by the pure, ecstatic love of his devotees.
And the road itself reflects this.
It does. The path is covered in fine white sand, meant to look like the bank of the Yamuna River in Vrindavana, the little gardens along the way. They're described as looking just like those in Vrindavana.
So the whole environment is reinforcing that mood shift.
Absolutely. It's all designed to transport everyone, including the Lord, into that Vrindavan atmosphere. Even the pullers, the gatas, pull with joy. But interestingly, the chariot's movement is unpredictable.
How so?
Sometimes fast, sometimes slow, sometimes it just stops, even when they're pulling hard. It emphasizes, again, it's moving by the Lord's will, not just physical force.
Yeah.
Part of the divine play.
Okay, now we get to the absolute heart of this chapter. Caitanya Mahaprabhu's performance. The car starts moving. What happens next?
First, Caitanya does something very personal. He goes around and gives flower garlands and sandalwood pulp to his key devotees, Paramananda Puri, Advaita Acharya, Nityananda Prabhu, others. It's like a blessing, a moment of connection before the main event.
Nice touch. And then he organizes the Sankirtana, the chanting.
Yes, and he does it very specifically. He creates 4 main groups or parties for the chanting. Each group has, let's see, 6 chanters and 2 drummers playing madaga. So that's 24 chanters and 8 drummers in those main groups.
Okay, structured.
Very. And he tells specific people to dance in each of these groups. Nityananda Prabhu, Advaita Acharya, Haridasa Hakurta, Vakrishvara Patata.
So he's directing the whole performance.
He is. And there are other groups, too, from different towns, Kalinagrama, Shantipura, Kancha. So in total, you have 7 groups performing kirtana around Lord Jagannatha's chariot. 4 in front, 2 on the sides, 1 behind. A complete circle of sound and devotion.
7 groups, 14 drums. That must have sounded incredible. What was the effect?
The text says it was tumultuous. Just imagine 14 drums pounding simultaneously. It says all the devotees became mad with spiritual emotion, tears streaming down like rain. The sound was so immense it filled the 3 worlds, drowning out everything else. Just pure, intense Sankirtana.
Wow. And this is where Caitanya Mahaprabhu does something extraordinary, something mystic.
This is where it becomes truly mind-bending. He starts moving through all 7 groups, chanting Hari, Hari, and glories to Jagannatha. And then the text says he exhibited another mystic power by performing pastimes simultaneously in all 7 groups.
Simultaneously? How?
That's the mystery. Everyone in every single group felt, Lord Caitanya is right here in my group. He's not going anywhere else. He's giving his mercy just to us.
So, he appeared to be fully present in all 7 places at the same time.
Exactly. Only the most intimate, confidential devotees could actually understand this inconceivable potency. King Pratapurdra, remember his sweeping. Because of that service and the Lord's mercy, he was able to witness this and was just astonished. It deepened his ecstatic love.
Incredible. How does the text explain that?
It explains that the seer and the dancer were one and the same supreme person. It's the Lord displaying the variety of his pastimes through his internal energy, his Lola Shakti. It's like Krishna expanding himself to dance with every gopi in the Rasa dance, or being present with each of his 16,000 wives simultaneously. The divine can do that.
Unbelievable. And Lord Jagannatha himself, how's he reacting to all this?
He's loving it. The text says Jagannatha is very much pleased by the Sankirtana, so much so that he brought his car to a standstill just to see the performance.
The deity literally stops the parade to watch.
Yes. While Caitanya is dancing with great jubilation, spreading these waves of ecstatic love over everyone, it's this amazing dynamic that devotee performs for the Lord, and the Lord stops everything to appreciate the devotee.
That's beautiful. Then the dancing gets even more intense. Caitanya combines the groups.
He does. He wants to really let loose, jump high while dancing. So he brings all 7 groups together, puts 9 key devotees under the guidance of Svarupa Damodara. Then he offers obeisances to Jagannatha and starts reciting these profound verses.
What verses are these? What do they signify?
There are 4 main ones mentioned. One from the Vishnu Purat, offering respect to Krishna. Another from the Mukundamala, glorifying him as Devaki's son. A third from the Srimad Bhagavatam, praising him as the shelter of all, whose smile captivates the gopis.
Okay.
And the fourth, very significant, from the Padyavali. I am not a Brahman, not a Kshatriya. I identify myself only as the servant of the servant of the servant of Lord Sri Krishna, the maintainer of the gopis. It's this incredibly deep expression of humility and pure devotional identity.
Wow. That sets the stage for some serious dancing, I imagine. How's that described? What happens to him physically?
The dance is called Undaunted. He roars like thunder, moves like a wheel, like a circling firebrand, like when you spin a light quickly and it looks like a solid circle. That's the image, Ratha-yātrā.
Intense speed and energy.
So much energy that wherever he steps, it felt like the whole earth with its hills and seas appeared to tilt. And his body shows the 8 classic symptoms of spiritual ecstasy, the Adasatvika bhava.
Okay, what are those?
Things like being stunned, hair standing on end like thorns on a silk cotton tree, perspiration, even oozing blood.
Blood, really?
Yes. Teeth chattering so hard people feared they'd fall out, his voice choked, making sounds like jajaga, tears flowing like water from a syringe, drenching people nearby.
This is unbelievable.
His color changes, white to pink like a flower. He falls, rolls on the ground like a golden mountain. Sometimes his limbs go stiff like dry wood. He almost stops breathing. Water from eyes, nose, foam from the mouth. One devotee, Subhanand, actually drank the foam, considered very fortunate. It's a total physical manifestation of overwhelming divine love.
Just incredible. With that happening, managing the crowd must have been a challenge.
Huge challenge. So they formed 3 circles around Caitanya to protect him and manage the space. The inner circle was held by Nityananda Prabhu, described as being as strong as Balarama.
Okay.
Second circle, Kashishvara and Govinda linking hands. And the third, outer circle, was King Prataparudra himself with his guards, keeping the main crowd back.
The king is part of the security detail.
Yes, and there's this amazing little incident. The king is watching from that third circle. Shrivasa Hakura, another ecstatic devotee, is dancing, totally absorbed, and ends up right in front of the king.
Oh.
The king's attendant, Harichandana, tries to push Shrivasa out of the way. Shrivasa, completely lost in the ecstasy, just turns and slaps Harichandana.
He slapped the king's attendant.
He did. Harichandana is furious, obviously, but the king immediately stops him. And listen to what the king says. You are very fortunate, for you have been graced by the touch of Shrivasa Akura. I am not so fortunate. You should feel obliged to him.
Wow. The king's understanding is just profound.
Isn't it?
There's
Incredible humility and recognition of the spiritual state.
So while Caitanya is dancing like this, what's Lord Jagannatha's chariot doing?
Still stopped, comes to a complete standstill, remains immobile. Jagannath just watches Caitanya with unblinking eyes, completely captivated. Even Subhadra and Balarama on their chariots are described as feeling great happiness and ecstasy, smiling at the scene.
Amazing. After this peak intensity, Caitanya asks Svarupa Damodara to sing something specific, right? A line about finding the Lord of Life after being burned by Cupid.
Yes, exactly. Now I have gained the Lord of my life, in the absence of whom I was being burned by Cupid and was withering away.
What does that mean? How does it tie into that rasa idea?
This song is sung from the perspective of Srimati Radharani meeting Krishna again at Kurukshetra after being separated for a long time. Kurukshetra, remember, is like Dvaraka, opulent, formal, lots of people. Not like the intimate Vandavana she misses.
Right, the separation.
Exactly. So this song expresses that mood of longing and reunion, but also the feeling that this place, Kuchitradvarka Jagannatha Puri, isn't the same as that place, Vandavana. This sets up that dynamic competition, or maybe better, a love dialogue between Chaitanya as Radha and Jagannatha as Krishna.
How does that play out with the chariot?
It's fascinating. When Chaitanya gets absorbed in the mood of the song, feeling that separation, and falls behind the chariot, Jagannatha's car stops. It won't move.
It waits for him.
Yes. But when Chaitanya, feeling the joy of potentially drawing Krishna back to Vrindavana, moves forward again, the car proceeds, but very slowly. It's like a conversation. Jagannatha Puri represents the Varka, the destination. The Gutika temple represents Vrindavana. Chaitanya, as Ratharis, is trying to lead Krishna back to Vrindavana.
Checking if he still remembers Vandava.
Exactly. And Jagannatha stopping shows he does remember. He is attracted by that Vrindavana love Chaitanya is embodying.
Chaitanya then speaks directly in Radhara's voice, doesn't he? What she's saying to Krishna.
Yes, he recites another verse expressing her feelings. That same person who stole my heart in my youth is now my master again. But still, my mind isn't happy here. I want to go back there. That's my desire.
A direct plea.
Very direct. She says, basically, you're the same Krishna, I'm the same Radharat, we're meeting again, but my heart is still in Vrindavana. Please come back to Vrindavana. She contrasts Kurukshetra's elephants and warriors with Vrindavana's flower gardens and flute. She says, here there isn't even a drop of the ocean of happiness I had with you there. She's begging him to return.
And she also comments on other ways of connecting with the divine, like yoga and meditation.
She does, it's quite pointed. Chaitanya, speaking as Radhara, recalls how Krishna once sent Uddhava from Mathura to teach her intellectual knowledge in yoga.
Right.
And she says effectively, now you're saying the same things yourself, but my mind just doesn't accept it. We gopis aren't like yogis. We're not satisfied just meditating on your feet. She sees it as almost duplicitous, and it makes her angry, wanting that direct, loving interaction.
So for pure devotees, intellectual paths aren't the goal.
Not the ultimate goal, no. For someone in that state of pure love, like Radhara or the gopis, the mind is naturally fixed on service and loving exchange. It won't even entertain those other paths. This state of pure desirelessness is liberation. She says liberation itself begs to serve her. Her mind is Vrindavana.
My mind is Vrindavana.
It's powerful.
Isn't it? Wherever your mind is fully absorbed in loving service, free from material desire, that place becomes Vrindavana for you.
And her concern isn't just personal, right? She speaks for everyone in Vrindavana.
Yes, very much so. She says she doesn't mind her own sadness so much, but she sees the morose face of Mother Yashoda and how the hearts of all Vrindavana residents are breaking.
Oh, wow.
She asks Krishna, why are you just keeping them alive suffering like this? She stresses they don't want him as a prince. They can't leave Vrindavana. They're dying without him. He's their life, their everything.
Such deep love and pain. How does Krishna, through Jagannatha, respond to this? Krishna is deeply affected, very much perturbed. He feels indebted to the people of Vrindavana. He confesses, I cry day and night remembering all of you. No one knows how unhappy this makes me.
He feels the separation, too.
Intensely. He says they are his life and soul, and Radhara is the very life of my life. He insists he's always subservient to their love. And then he explains something mysterious.
What's that?
He says that through the potency of Narayan, whom he worships, I come to Vrindavana every day to enjoy pastimes with you. I then return to Dvaratama.
So he's saying he's actually there, even when he seems to be gone.
Yes, this points to his simultaneous manifest, prakaya, and unmanifest aprakaya presence. Pure devotees, he implies, can always perceive him in Vrindavana. His physical absence is a kind of misfortune, but his spiritual presence is constant for those attuned to it.
That's a profound reassurance. Does he promise to return physically?
He does. He says he needs to finish killing a few remaining demons, and then I shall very soon return to Vrindavana. He assures Radha her love is what draws him. They will bring me back within 10 or 20 days, and he'll enjoy day and night with her and all the gopis.
A clear promise.
And he finishes with a verse basically saying, your devotional service, your love born of good fortune, that's the only reason I return. It all comes back to pure devotion.
So this whole dance, the singing, the stopping and starting of the chariot, it's all this incredibly deep dialogue of love and longing between Radha and Krishna, embodied by Chaitanya and Jagannatha. What happens after this exchange?
Chaitanya and Svarupa Damodara continue to savor these feelings, these verses, constantly, and Chaitanya's ecstatic state just keeps intensifying. Looking at Jagannatha's beautiful face, glittering in the sun, garlanded, fragrant, an ocean of transcendental bliss expands in Chaitanya's heart.
More symptoms.
Oh yes, the symptoms of madness immediately intensified like a hurricane, waves of emotion, his body blooming like a transcendental Himalayan mountain covered in ecstatic flower trees.
Wow. How does this affect the crowd?
Everyone is captivated, their minds, their consciousness just drawn in. The text says, the Lord sprinkled everyone's mind with the nectar of transcendental love of Godhead. King, queens, ministers, locals, pilgrims, everyone.
Everyone felt it.
Everyone felt it. They were astonished, infatuated with love of Krishna. Everyone starts dancing and chanting in ecstasy. Even Jagannatha and Balarama respond, moving their chariots very slowly now, sometimes stopping again, just happily observing Lord Chaitanya's dancing.
It's like the ecstasy is contagious. There's one more incident with the king near the end, right? When Chaitanya falls down.
Yes, another key teaching moment. In his ecstasy, Chaitanya falls down right in front of King Prataparudra. The king respectfully picks him up.
Okay.
But as Chaitanya comes back to external awareness, he says something like, "Oh, how pitiful, I've touched a mundane person, someone interested in worldly things."
Wait, but didn't he appreciate the king sweeping?
Exactly, that's the nuance. Inwardly, he was satisfied with the king, but externally, he showed this anger as a warning to his own close followers.
A warning about what?
About getting too familiar or entangled with worldly people, those focused only on money and women, even if they seem powerful or important. It was a lesson for his disciples, not a genuine rejection of the king.
I see. A teaching moment.
Precisely. And Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya immediately explains this to the king, reassures him, the Lord is very satisfied with you. He was just teaching his associates. He tells the king to wait for a better time to formally meet Chaitanya.
Got it. Okay, almost there. What's the final push for the chariot?
Chaitanya circles Jagannatha one more time, then goes behind the massive chariot and starts pushing it with his head.
With his head?
With his head. And as soon as he does, the car immediately starts moving again, making this rattling sound. Everyone shouts, "Hari, Hari!" Then he goes back to dancing in front of Jagannatha and also dances before Balarama and Subhadra's cars too.
Incredible energy right to the end. Where does the car finally stop?
It reaches a significant spot called Balagan. Lord Jagannatha stops the car there. He looks to the left, a neighborhood where Brahmins has lived, a coconut grove. He looks to the right, flower gardens that look like Vrindavana again.
Symbolic views.
Very. And this is a traditional place for offering food, bhoga. So innumerable dishes are offered, not just by priests, but by everyone, the king, queens, ministers, friends, locals, visitors from other countries. Offerings everywhere, front, back, sides, in the garden.
The huge feast for the Lord.
Massive. And because a huge crowd gathers during this offering time, Chaitanya finally stops his dancing. He goes into a nearby garden, still completely immersed in great ecstatic emotion, and collapses onto a raised platform, just exhausted, enjoying the cool breeze. All the other chanters and dancers find shade under trees and rest too.
What a scene. A moment of peace after all that intensity.
Exactly. And the chapter kind of culminates there, referencing a prayer by Rupa Goswami, the Caitanya Katha, which beautifully describes this very dancing and promises great benefit to anyone who hears about it.
It really does feel like hearing it has an effect. So, wrapping this up, what we've explored today, it's so much more than just an old story.
Absolutely. It's not just history. It's like a live demonstration of deep spiritual truths. Ratha-yātrā becomes this incredible stage for showing the most intimate kinds of divine love. It shows that devotion isn't just, a feeling, it's a force that can literally move the immovable, like that giant chariot.
Yeah, from the king sweeping the street in humility to the sheer earth-shaking ecstasy of the dancers and that unbelievable mystic power of being everywhere at once.
Right.
This deep dive really shows how that intense spiritual connection can almost dissolve the lines between the human and the divine. It creates this astonishing reality right there on the road. Yeah, and that whole dialogue between Krishna wanting Dandavana and Radha demanding his return, that's a love that's beyond just ordinary understanding.
And I think the core message, if you boil it down, is that it's our pure devotion, that focused love, regardless of who we are externally, king or servant. That's what really attracts the divine, that idea that your own mind can become Vrindavana.
Right, that wherever you are, that sacred space can be within you.
That's truly transformative, isn't it?
It really is. So as you've been listening, what does this deep dive spark in you? How could that kind of intensity, that kind of focus and dedication maybe change your own experience, even just in everyday life. Could your mind become that Vrindavan? Something to think about. Keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep diving deep.